Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of DevOps with Zach. Today we are going to talk about something about serverless. So today I have my very good friend Pubudu from Netherlands, and we are going to talk about Amazon EventBridge pipes. So let's get started. Good evening, Pubudu. How are you doing, mate?
Hey, Zach, I'm doing great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Thanks to you. Actually, I know it's pretty late in Netherlands. It's almost 11:15 p.m. I believe. For you guys, it's still a Saturday night, correct?
Yeah, it's Saturday night
Oh,
in Netherlands at this moment. Yeah.
yeah. So those who are listening, me and Pubudu, we have a 12-hour difference. So I really, really appreciate his effort to being with me here because it's not easy to do such things, like volunteering to help the community. So a big applause to him. So about Pubudu is for me is a serverless hero, serverless a serverless guru. So he published a lot stuff AWS serverless things, and he's an AWS community builder. I think it's better to ask from Pubudu about himself rather I just jabbering around. So Pubudu, why don't you tell me about yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually based in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and currently I am working as a senior backend developer in a company called Start that's based in Amsterdam as well. And as Zach said, I am a AWS community builder in the serverless category. So I like to play around with serverless a lot, especially the new services. So uh, the today topic also based on some of my experience that I worked on some of these technologies. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I really wanted to see you soon or one day sooner become a AWS serverless hero. So I hope you'll graduate soon from community build to hero. So I really, really wish you good luck with that. I know you are really doing good in that path, and you're doing really well. And me and Pubudu, we met, we know each other since a couple of years ago through online, thanks to AWS Community Builder program, because we both are original from Sri Lanka. And so we managed to met in AWS reInvent last year, 2022. So we had some couple of nice experience, especially we both played casino for $50, and yes, we lost the $50. So it was fun. So we are not encouraging anyone, but it's good to have because for us it's our first time. So it was really amazing.
No, actually, it was a great experience as well. Especially, it's a lot of first times for me as well. It's my first trade event, as well as I did a talk in Dev Chats for the first time, and yeah, and I played some casinos for the first time.
Yeah, that's for me. That's also like a first experience as a reinvent. Right? I missed my flight because of that. I missed that awesome hike with you guys and Jonas. So yeah, hopefully we can do that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. So let's go to the today's topic. So Pubudu is going to talk about Amazon bridge pipelines. So I'm really excited to know about these things. So as everyone knows, I'm not much into that serverless area because I'm more into a container and dev tools guy. So Pupudu, why Amazon bridge pipelines?
Yeah, sure. So it's a great starting point. So if you think about the serverless space, especially in AWS, it has evolved a lot. So uh, in earlier days, it started with let's say S3, SQS, and Lambda, and today it has been a really big ecosystem. And even today, people uh, tend to not to like Lambda and go in Lambda less, right? So because the reason is even within Lambda we have to write code and you have to maintain that code. And when you write custom code, it's your responsibility to maintain it, especially with some small code that you need to write to connect two services, right? So having native integrations will definitely remove this glue code. And I think personally I believe that to the serverless definition, this having native integrations, or to which extent a service has native integrations, needs to be included, because that actually defines if this particular service is serverless or not as well. For example, think about Lambda and SQS, right? So at the moment, Lambda supports polling from SQS and processing those messages. What if you have to write that particular code to poll SQS and fetch that data into Lambda and process? That will be a lot of effort, right? So that's why people are looking for more native integrations to prevent this particular custom glue code, or to prevent this overhead of maintaining custom glue code. I think AWS has identified that native integrations are the key. And as I am in the serverless space for some time and I am working with AWS technologies, I know AWS listen to the customers very well. And uh, they try to provide us with many native integrations as much as possible. So I think EventBridge pipe is a result of that. uh, as I can remember, last part of 2019, AWS rebranded CloudWatch Events API to EventBridge, and there they introduced many native integrations, even for third-party uh, external providers. And uh, and in this last reinvent, they introduced EventBridge Pipe, uh, that opened up a lot of capabilities.
What is actually Amazon EventBridge pipes are?
Yeah, so EventBridge Pipe is basically a low-code solution to connect a source with the target. So simpler, simplest version of Pipe has a source and a target, and additionally, you can configure filters and enrichment steps, which are actually optional. Source and target is must be there. That's required for the pipe. And when it comes to source, there are stream and queue based sources. For example, for the streams, at the moment, uh, pipe supports Kinesis streams, DynamoDB streams, Amazon MQ, Amazon MSK, that's fully managed Apache Kafka, and also self managed Apache Kafka as well. And also it supports SQSQ, including FIFO queues. And how it actually works in the source is, even bridge pipe pulls data from source in regular intervals. And actually it's similar to what Lambda does. That's Lambda's event source mapping. It's a similar technology, how it works in the event bridge pipe source. uh, Also, it's worth to mention that there are some configuration that you can set. For example, the batch size, uh, or the streaming window, etc. Those are actually based on the source that you select. For example, in SQS we can select the batch size and the streaming window, etc. And also in the DynamoDB streams, additionally you can select the number of shards, etc. So all these settings actually based on the source. uh, yeah, another cool feature is that ordering is supported. uh, again, it's based on the source. For example, if it's sqs 54q, uh, then the pipe respect the ordering, where it triggers the target uh, with the given order. Then the next component in the event bridge pipe is the filtering. So as name implies, it's a great way to drop any messages that are not required. And uh, it's again same as the lambda's event source mapping filtering, same syntax. uh, Event bridge bus has the same filtering with the same syntax. So those are the same thing. And there's one thing that you need to know, especially when you connect sqs, where messages uh, that don't satisfy the filtering criteria are removed from the queue. That's the same behavior in the lambda event source mapping. So uh, yeah, so it's a kind of a great way to opt out any messages that you don't need. So enrichment is the next component in the event bridge pipe. There you can actually include any additional data into the messages before they go into the target. At the moment, as the enrichment step, we can add API destination, Amazon API gateway endpoint, or lambda function, or a step function, state machine. So how it works is, once the message received, that message will be sent out to these entities, and then the result will be sent to the target. Here step functions uh, only supports for express workflows, because obviously the standard workflows runs for 1 year, so it's not suitable. And other special thing is that event which invokes enrichment always synchronously, because it needs to build and enrich the message before sending to the target. So it's always synchronous. uh, Another feature is that input transformation also supported by enrichment. So if you need to send some part of the message into the enrichment step, then you can do that as well. uh, Enrichment actually, although it says enrichment, it works as a transformation as well, transformer. Because within, for example, if you have a lambda function or step function or anything, you can transform the original message that returns a different payload to the target. So it works as a transform as well. Also, it can work as a filter as well. So for example, if you return empty string or a empty object or empty array based on the target, uh, those will be ignored by the target, because this those are empty. So although it says enrichment, so it works as enrichment, filtering, and a sort of transform as well. So the last step of the event bridge pipe is the target. Currently there are 15 targets are supported, like lambda, event bridge bus, sqs, step function, etc. So target can be triggered synchronously or asynchronously. That's depend on the source as well as the target. For example, step function and lambda can be configured as synchronously or asynchronously. And for example, the source is ordered, for example, sqs 54q, the target invoked synchronously as always. So as you see, there are some configuration that depends on the source as well as target. And the thing is, event bridge pipe is kind of a generalized service, as I see. It try to support most of the sources as well as targets. So there are a lot of combinations that you need to understand.
Oh, that's really awesome, Pubudu. So, I have a question for you. So, what about those general requirements like quotas, permissions, and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we are dealing with a lot of sources and uh, targets, and of course we need to have some permission to trigger them. For example, for the sources we have to have permission to read the messages, and for the targets we need to have permission to publish those messages. And in between, for the enrichment, for example, you have to have permission to trigger, for example, lambda function or step functions. So everything is managed by IAM permissions, as many of the as all of the AWS services. So uh, when you define the event bridge pipe, you have to assign a role. So within that role you have to give all the permission to access all these source, target, and uh, enrichment uh, permissions. And also if you uh, don't know exact permissions, it's better to first create it in the console, so it automatically generates all the necessary permissions. Then based on that, maybe you can use these permission in your infrastructure as code tools as well. And talking about the quotas, at the moment you can create 1,000 pipes uh, within your account, and there are 1,000 concurrent executions by default available per account. But this is a soft limit, so you can always increase it contacting AWS support.
My last question. This is my favorite part. So we are talking about Amazon Event Bridge pipes and where I can use this. I mean, like any use cases that this will be most appropriate to use somewhere in the infrastructure. So that would be really nice if you could give us an example where we can use with the use case maybe.
If you think about the simplest version of pipes, it's more similar what Lambda does for event source mapping. So this can be a good replacement for Lambda, because then you don't have to manage uh, those code to read from SQS queues and uh, send them to a particular target. So that's the best use case. For example, in terms of practical example, I recently tried out splitting SQS messages into multiple SQS queues. For example, there's one source queue, and then using pipes, uh, I send I actually enrich those messages based on some attributes and send it to a event bridge bus. Then from there, I have several targets, SQS queues, that those messages will be sent based on these attributes to the final SQS queues. So this is kind of a simplest version of message splitting, so which can be done with minimum code. I don't want to say no code, because I use some enrichment custom codes in the enrichment steps. So but still, it's the simplest version of message splitting. And I didn't write much of the code except in the enrichment step, and all the other stuff is managed by AWS. So it's really great. And yeah, this kind of use cases are possible within even bridge pipes. And I think there are some IAC tools that's already support even bridge pipe. But I think in future there will be a lot of opportunities for event bridge pipes, especially when AWS adds more targets, uh, more sources, etc.
Oh, that was a really, really awesome topic we talk about today. Thank you so much, Pubudu, to talk about this new service, Amazon Event Bridge Pipes, and I gain a lot of good idea about how these things works and why it's really important to use in the serverless ecosystem. Thanks again. About Pubudu. I'll be posting all of his awesome blog posts and Medium articles, and he has done a lot of articles in Dev.2 in AWS Code Builder zone. So yes, so this will be our first episode for the Amazon Event Bridge topic. So I'll hope to see you soon, Pubudu, with our second episode of Amazon Event Bridge. Hopefully, we can talk about Event Bridge schedulers and stuff. So thanks again, and thank you for joining with me, Pubudu.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Zach. It's really great to talk with you on this episode. Yeah, I hope yeah we can talk about many awesome features in the future as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining with me today. I'll see you with another episode of DevOps with Zach. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.